I told you that moving just 20 minutes west of Jersey City could save you hundreds of thousands of dollars for the same amount of space? In New Jersey, location affects everything, not just your lifestyle, but the biggest financial decision that you'll make. That same 1,000 or 1,500 square foot home in Hoboken versus Madison, New Jersey could be the difference of 10 to 20%. There's a huge difference. But here's the thing. The price that you pay up front is just the beginning. Most buyers have no idea about the hidden costs that can lock you into a financial situation and limits your family's choices later. Today, I'm showing you what no one talks about, the real cost of living in New Jersey. What if I told you that moving just 20 minutes west of Jersey City could save you roughly $400,000 to $500,000 for way more space? In New Jersey, you can't trust statewide averages to tell you the real story. Prices can change a lot from one town to the next, and that's why location is really key here. It ends up being the biggest money decision that you'll make. Some real numbers. Jersey City's median home price is roughly $715,000 from July 2025. Maplewood, just 30 minutes less, gives you a little bit more value for your money at around $1 million. Hoboken's median is about $900,000. Madison's median is about 1 to 1.5. Hoboken and Madison show a huge price gap because a 2,000 square foot home, which is probably most likely not available in Hoboken, is gonna cost you way more money in one location than it is in the other. That's $750,000 for the same amount of space. Montclair's 3-bedroom home sales are up 39.6% year over year. In Chatham Borough, 81% of homes are selling above asking. Homes in Essex County selling 107% over list price. 74% of homes are going over asking in Hudson County. Homes now stay on the market for a little bit longer than 20 days. That's up from 15 days last year. A $715,000 condo in Jersey City costs roughly $6,800 to $7,200 a month. That includes property taxes, HOA fees, insurance, and utilities. The purchase price is only the starting point, not your full monthly cost. These price gaps get even bigger once we add in the cost of getting to work. Some towns may tack on additional pricing. If you are commuting, you're talking about $500 a month, and property taxes. New Jersey has the highest property taxes in the US, and those taxes can change drastically from town to town. These can add thousands of dollars a year on top of your mortgage. Speaking of staying on top of market changes, on this channel, I post weekly updates on price trends and insights that you won't get anywhere else. So hit the subscribe button and you won't miss anything. I've learned over more than a decade working in this area, local knowledge is really key to be able to educate and empower people. So subscribe now and get the latest updates. And here's something most people forget. Property taxes. They can add thousands to your monthly costs, and they change from town to town. Property tax reality. Here's what most people don't know. Your neighbor could be paying $10,000 more than you for the same property in a different block, and that is because of the tax zone. New Jersey property taxes are the second biggest monthly cost after your mortgage. The average tax rate across the state is 2.23%, but let's be very, very careful about this. Every town has a different tax rate. Averages are misleading. The Montclair example shows how it's missed. The rate in Montclair is 3.30%. The rate in Jersey City is 2.34% right now. That averages your monthly cost added to your mortgage because taxes are paid quarterly in New Jersey and they're paid by the mortgage provider most often. What do you get for your money in taxes? This is the big question here. You want to keep this in mind when we're talking about lifestyle value later. Schools, location, long-term value often make it worth it for many buyers to be in a higher tax rate zone. In Hoboken, the tax rate is 1.60. That's $525 more every single month for an easier commute and a more accessible lifestyle, but you don't get enough space. And here's where buyers are getting caught off guard. In 2025, some towns saw major tax increases. Madison's home values were reassessed and they went up 8%. Hoboken is talking about raising taxes by 7%. And these increases do come into play when you are looking to purchase a property. Many towns are going through full revaluations. Maplewood just finished one ordered by the county. Some owners saw lower taxes, but many saw big jumps, and that's because tax values were adjusted to match market value. And about that tax cut in Jersey City, not what it seems. The tax rate dropped by 0.6% in 2024, but that came after a 40% increase over the 2 years before. So even with the cut, most people are still paying more than they did 3 years ago. Me as an example. This is why tax planning matters, especially long term. You need to know what could be coming in the next 5 to 10 years. But we never know what the tax rate is going to be because it will depend on market value, and it also depends on state budgets that are passed every July. Let's look at another big monthly cost that often shocks buyers. It's HOA fees. These fees can be small or they can be large, and lately many of them have been rising. The HOA fee reality. When $900 monthly becomes $1,500 in 2024, 71% of HOA boards across the US plan to raise their fees. But in New Jersey, some luxury buildings now charge monthly fees as high as a mortgage. If you're moving from Manhattan, a $1,200 HOA fee might sound normal, but once you add that to your mortgage, taxes, insurance, and utilities, it can stretch your budget pretty fast. Jersey City luxury high-rise condos do vary in fees because it depends on what you are paying for. The bigger the condo, the higher your fees. Also, there are new condominium regulations that have passed nationwide, but specifically in New Jersey, to ensure that the engineering of the condominium building is up to speed to modern engineering. This has increased HOA fees overall. Smaller buildings have smaller HOA fees. We have a lot of self-managed buildings here. 50% of buildings are potentially self-managed because they are smaller buildings. The bigger the building, the more amenities you have. You're talking about $800 to $1,200 to $1,500 in waterfront buildings that pay towards concierge services, fitness centers, pools, parking. All of these things are maintenance fees that you have to share depending on the square footage of your unit. Amenities justify costs, but must be factored into your total monthly housing expense from day one. And we take a look at that with our lenders when we work with you. You get what you pay for, but you need to count this in from the start. These fees matter even more when you look at the full cost of owning a home in different towns. We'll break that down later in this video when we go over the typical Jersey City condo or the Hoboken pre-war buildings that are walk-ups. The HOAs are going to be lower, and they can average anywhere from $200 to $700 a month. Lower fees are misleading due to frequent special assessments for building improvements. Smaller monthly fees can sometimes be misconstrued as the building isn't being taken care of, but in those fees, you will know that the building unit owners are taking care of repairs on their own or getting together once a quarter to discuss what needs to get done. National median HOA fees have jumped 13.6% in 2024. HOA fees across the country went up by about 14%, $110 to $125 in monthly increases. That is an additional fee for you per month that is not tax deductible. Your taxes to some extent are deductible in your taxes. Your HOA fees are not. HOA fees are always factored into your monthly costs. So are the taxes, so are the capital contributions, anything else that you might be paying for. You are always going to be factored into your monthly costs. Insurance, you have to pay for your own insurance. And New Jersey's at the higher end of the regional range of HOA fees because of rising insurance costs, as well as the need to upgrade engineering in a lot of buildings that are much older. Higher prices for supplies as well are making fixing things more expensive. Everyone in the building has to pay an HOA fee because it goes towards the general improvement and common areas of the building itself. So when you pay for HOAs, you're paying for most oftentimes cold water, sewer, general building insurance and maintenance, as well as any other amenities that you might have. Utility costs have gone up generally overall because utilities are becoming more expensive. So electric, gas, municipal water, and how municipal water is treated, all of these things are going up with the average cost of utilities. PSE&G has a summer relief initiative, which gives credits throughout peak times of the year. Many families plan for $200 to $250 a month for utilities. You really should plan for a little bit higher, up to potentially $500, depending on the size of the property and the mechanicals. This changes your affordability factor on a monthly basis, but newer homes have better insulation. Newer homes have newer, cost-effective, and energy-efficient HVAC systems. and they have better windows, which cut costs by 20 to 30%. Older homes obviously need to be upgraded, and that is where your cost analysis really should be coming in. Because when we look at older homes, we know that a lot of the heating elements, heating and cooling, go out through cracks in what could be older windows. Transportation reality, the $500 plus a monthly commuting cost. There's a hidden cost in the New Jersey lifestyle, which is commuting to New York City via train. Commuting to Manhattan can easily run you anywhere from $400 to $600 a month. And that's not just train tickets. That's the cost of driving. Train passes can cost you anywhere between $120 or more if you're buying in bulk, but that doesn't really cover the cost of the full picture. Tolls constantly go up every few years through the Lincoln Tunnel, the George Washington Bridge, although Easy Pass does have some lower rates for off-peak hours. And then you're talking about gas. So gas is always a little bit cheaper here in New Jersey, one of the cheapest states actually, because our gas is right around the corner. But also New Jersey Transit went up another 3% this year after a 15% hike last year, and monthly parking costs as well. So if you don't have parking, you're paying for a parking spot that can cost anywhere between $250 to $350 per month in a garage or off-street parking. Street parking is easier, but not everyone gets a spot. And street cleaning is 4 days a week in certain areas. So you really have to take all of these things into consideration. Let's say you're commuting into Manhattan. If you're taking the path, it's going to be anywhere from $120 to $175 a month, depending on how many trains you have to take. If you are parking your car, it's $300 a month. If you are driving, it could be up to $200 a month in gas. And tolls obviously could cost you up to $200 a month, depending on where you're going. A lot of buyers sometimes don't really think about these costs when they're moving into the city, but no matter where you are in the general 1 to 1.5 hour radius of New York City, you are commuting into New York City for work. These are things that you will have to pay for. The actual value proposition, what your money actually buys you. After breaking down all these costs, here's the question that really matters. What does spending over $10,000 a month actually get you in these towns? At this price point, buying a house or a condo, you're not just buying something to buy something. You're buying access to a way of living, to a community, to a routine, and to how you feel in a property in a specific location. Jersey City has the lifestyle value proposition with waterfront condos, a quick train ride into the city. You get the lifestyle of Manhattan without the Manhattan prices, and you get to build your equity. There's also walkable neighborhoods, parks, culture, everything. But you do have to pay for parking if it doesn't come with your property. Hoboken is a walkable mile-square city with brownstone charm and very fun nightlife. It draws professionals who want a little bit more space but city energy, and you'll pay extra for that. And since the city's small, housing options are very limited. Positioning Montclair is a hub for arts and culture, strong education system. Its downtown is full of shops, mom and pops, restaurants, creating a stylish and vibrant place to live. But it also has the highest property taxes in all of this breakdown, which affects long-term budgets for a lot of families. Madison, campus town charm with top-rated schools. You can catch a direct train to Manhattan. Its downtown feels small, but also has a lot of modern spots to enjoy. It's a smart long-term move for families that are growing and are planning to stay. Maplewood has a creative family community. It draws a lot of creative families for both the value and the community, but the downtown is growing pretty fast with restaurants and shops popping up. Most prices are rising faster here than in any other town. It's a strong pick for those who want to live in a neighborhood that's growing. Chatham has that ultra exclusive positioning. Chatham offers luxury suburban living with top tier schools. It's a high demand, high prestige area with very limited listings. Prices are steep and families often get strong growth and resale value in their return. You get 40% more space here than in Manhattan. Commutes run from 15 to 45 minutes in any of these towns. Annual home value increases range from 2.2% to 20.5% in these towns. There's strong value for buyers who want to build equity and gain room to grow. When you compare these options in Manhattan to value here in New Jersey, it really stands out, especially for people who want more space and they want to build the equity. So after breaking down these numbers today, the real question is whether New Jersey is expensive. Does it make sense for you? When I help buyers make this choice, the ones who feel good years later are the ones who looked at the full picture, not just the price tag, but the taxes, the commute, the schools. I've lived in Jersey City for 24 years, and here's what I've seen. Families who are open to many different areas of New Jersey, but also are listening to what I'm saying about value. If you're ready to stop guessing and start making moves in New Jersey, send me an email at michelle.mamoli@compass.com. The fall market is ramping up, and those sellers and buyers that are ready to actually make their moves right now are the ones that are going to benefit. Email me today and let's build your full cost breakdown so you can move forward with confidence. Now, before you go, if you're wondering which New Jersey town actually fits your lifestyle, watch my next video where I reveal the exact 5 towns I'd recommend if I were leaving New York City in 2025. I break down why 64,000 New Yorkers made this move last year and share my #1 pick for best value right now. Click here to find your favorite match.